Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This is a follow up to the video I put out Saturday, December 3rd on the Oakland warehouse fire. I've done a lot more research and connected several more dots, which we're going to touch on in this video. In case you missed the first video, I suggest you watch it. There's a lot of important information. Part of what I show is how this fire is a ritual for the remainder of the Golden State Warriors season and possibly also connected to the hometown Oakland Raiders. So since the fire has happened, since I've made this video, the Raiders and Warriors have both played, and I want to show you how the games were scripted as tributes in accordance with the fire. For those of you who don't understand how these things could possibly be related, it's because you're missing a giant piece of what's going on in this world, and that is we are living out a planned agenda. Scripted sports, scripted news, and it's all done by the numbers, by the gang of Freemasons who rule over this nation, who always have, who founded this nation. The Freemasons are builders. They're very much into mathematics, esoteric knowledge. A lot of that comes back to numbers. So, if you missed the first video, I would pause here and watch that first because the first video is really good. This is the latest follow-up information. Shortly after I put out that video, it was announced that the Raiders and Warriors both made considerable donations to the fire efforts, meaning they're contributing to the fire department, possibly also victims. Let's look at what happened. I mentioned in the video that this fire was definitely connected to the Warriors, possibly also the Raiders. Watching the Raiders play Sunday, 2 days after the fire, I got my answer. This was the 38th regular season game all time between the Bills and the Raiders. I'll just show you that real quick so you don't have to take my word for it. Do a breakdown every week of the games. Prior to the game being played, I said, see, the Bills and Raiders have played each other 37 times in the regular season. This is going to be the 38th time all time, and 38 is very significant to Raiders and fire. And for that reason, I liked the Raiders winning this game. And not only did they win in their 38th game against the Bills, they won with 38 points. Raiders equals 38 in Gematria. Fire equals 38 in Gematria. If you look through the history of your professional sports leagues from the beginning to the present, overwhelmingly the owners of the teams, the people who've told you about the games through the papers, through the media, they've been Jewish and Zionist Jews. And in the Jewish faith, this numerical thing is very important. Jewish people practice Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. They practice Kabbalah, which incorporates Gematria, the calendar, numerology. This gang, this is how they run the world. This is how they make your fake news. This is how they rig your sports games every single time, and this is how they've been doing it for a very long time. How perfect. Right after the fire, we got the Raiders in their 38th matchup against the Bills, and they win it. Again, 38-24. It's just too funny. Also, what somebody pointed out in my comments who watched this game was they said, Zach, what I noticed is the Raiders made their big change when they were down 15 points with a score of 9-24. When you write out 15, it equals 38, just like the amount of points they won with. And also, in the reporting of the dead, they first reported 9 dead, then they said 24 dead, then they said 33 dead, and I think at the current moment it's 36. But notice, 9 plus 24, also 33, what the sum of the score was when the outcome of the game flipped, when the Raiders stole the momentum. At the time of the fire, the Golden State Warriors were 16-3, 16-3 is a lot like 163. 163 is the 38th prime number. And the Warriors played December 3rd. Played right after the fire. They defeated the Phoenix Suns. Sun, fire. That could be a coincidence. Notice the Warriors won with 138 points. 138. December 3rd, day the fire news broke. Fire broke out late December 2nd. Golden State equals 122. Oakland on the 122nd meridian, a 12-2, 1-2-2 fire. I noticed that these starters in this game scored 93 points. This game was in Oracle Arena. Oracle Arena equals 93. 93 is the number for Saturn, the keeper of time. 138 is a number relevant to the orbital speed of Saturn. It said that the Saturn orbits the sun at 9.69 kilometers a second. When you take 138 and add it to its reflection, 831, it sums to 969. 9.69, kind of like the orbital speed. You see this number 138 often coded around Saturn. Here's the starters for the Warriors. 9 plus 20, 29, plus 7, 36, plus 31, 67, plus 26 more, 93. Oracle Arena 93. The Cavaliers won Game 7 of the NBA Finals in Oracle Arena with 93 points. The Warriors lost with 89. King James equals 89. It was the real King James's birthday. Notice that Curry also had 31 points. And as I explained, basketball in Gematria equals 31. Curry equals 31. Oakland equals 31. Last year, the Warriors came back in the Western Conference Finals from 3-1. Then the Cavs came back from 3-1. First team ever to do it. LeBron was 31 years old. Basketball 31. The Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. This past basketball season, Villanova, the Jesuit Catholic school from just outside of Philadelphia, they won the college basketball championship for the first time in 31 years. They hadn't won it since 85. Basketball the big way equals 85, just like Curry. But again, this fire was on 31st Avenue, the 1300 block, 1331. You know, in case you missed that video, the address of the fire was 1305 31st Avenue. That fire was 135 days before the start of the NBA playoffs, April 15th. The Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia was established on a date with 135 numerology. And in Revelation, the final book of the Bible, where Philadelphia gets its name from, it's mentioned in regards to the key of David, which in Gematria equals 135. So all of these numbers, super relevant. Great Chicago Fire equals 135. That same night the fire broke out in Golden State, the Cavaliers were playing in Chicago, where the Great Chicago Fire happened. Cavs lost to the Bulls that night. I noticed this weekend the 49ers from the Bay Area were in Chicago. You know, the Raiders were winning with 38 points. The 49ers were in Chicago. Great Chicago Fire. We're going to talk more about the Great Chicago Fire, but right now we're just starting off with the sports details. There's so much more. But I just want you to see how the news are synced up with the rigged sports games. This is not a coincidence. The Raiders winning with 38 in the 38th game. The Warriors, the night of the news, scoring 138. Curry, who I talked about in the video before this game even played, and his significance of 31, drops 31. This is what I've been showing for 3 years. I didn't realize sports were scripted with the news. When I was first starting this study, I was just applying it to the news, and then just naturally I noticed how things in sports were syncing up perfectly with cities and what I just decoded in the news, and I said, is this going on? Well, here we are years later, and this is going on. I mean, how many more sports championships do I need to predict correctly just by using the news? This fire tells us that the NBA Finals will likely be Warriors versus Cavs or Bulls, and we're going to get to that. There's a whole lot more to this. So right here, in the reporting, December 3rd in the morning, they were saying 24 bodies found momentarily, and this article was how this could surpass the worst deadly fire in Oakland's history, where 25 people died in 1991. And in 1991, Golden Dawn became an official recognized political party in Europe. They were saying the music show at this thing was called Golden Donnas. Golden Donnas. We'll get to that. But anyway, 1991, the worst fire in Oakland before this one. The same year, Golden Dawn came into existence, which was a fascist group very much against Islam. Think about what's going on in this nation. It's always been a fascist nation. The hatred for Islam grows every day within the people because of the programmed media. And at the same time, in the United States, they funnel more and more Muslims into the country. It's all part of the design of what they're doing. They're tormenting us, they're scaring us, they're making us hate each other. There's a lot of layers in the propaganda we're dealt. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 1991 fire, what happened in the 1991 NBA season, which the Warriors had a very good season that year. A lot of parallels here. The 1991 fire, known as the Oakland firestorm or the Oakland Hills firestorm, it began October 19th. They thought they put it out October 19th. It reignited October 20th, caused a lot of destruction, and reportedly 25 lives lost. My guess is it was probably contrived and made up just as this news is now, but here's what I noticed. October 19th, 1019. I see the number 119 in there. Mainstream equals 11. That's not right. All-Seeing Eye equals 119. Star of David, 119. Master Plan, 119. Remember, the first video that CNN put out on this fire was 1:19 long. This story came right after the Tennessee fire, where they coded 119 all over it. And there's a major parallel with this news out of Oakland and the fire that just happened in Tennessee, which we'll get to. The date of this fire in 1991, it was a date with a life lesson number of 49. Warriors equals 49. Warriors are from Philadelphia, which is named from the book of Revelation, Revelation 49. Chicago Bulls also equals 49, and the Bulls won the championship in 91. Think about how last year the Warriors eclipsed the Chicago Bulls win record. It was also a date with 139 numerology, Freemasonry 139. It was a date with 31 numerology. This time the fire's on 31st Avenue at the 1300 block. Again, basketball 31, Curry 31, Oakland 31. This was in Oakland. In case you go on the Gematria calculator, if you type in Oakland in English reduction, it's going to say 22. In ordinal, it's going to say 58. With your K exception, K is a master number. It can be 2 or 11. Oakland's 31. There's also a date with 29 numerology. The word fire has Gematria of 29 and 38. If you want to know how to Gematria, in case you're new here, down in the description, watch my How to Gematria video. Very simple once you learn it. The fire also burned on October 20th. Date with 50 numerology. America equals 50, 50 states. Golden State has Gematria of 41, and with the S exception, 50. Date with 23 numerology, infamous number in basketball. Jordan won that year, number 23. Now the big star of the NBA, LeBron wears 23. I should mention the word symbol equals 23. Definitely a symbolic number. The number 23, that movie with Jim Carrey, which mocks the truth, introduces people to Gematria. It begins with the dog named Ned, ends the 14th letter, E's the 5th, D's the 4th, 14 plus 5 plus 4, 23. You know? You don't think these Jewish people are practicing Gematria? They're laughing at you. The movie, the number 23, that's just one of a million Hollywood movies with Gematria. You learn Gematria and you apply it to pretty much any Hollywood movie you've seen. You see that's how they create the character names, everything. People who run the show, they're all about Gematria. The Oakland Hills firestorm in Gematria also sums to 106. Number of prophecy. Oracle Arena is 106 feet tall. 106, a huge number coded into the Tennessee fire, which we'll review. Remember last year the Warriors went down in their 106th game of the season in Game 7 in the 106-foot tall Oracle Arena. It was on the real King James's birthday, who had 106th birth numerology. It was the 106th Father's Day ever, Game 7. They were calling LeBron the Godfather all week. Plus a whole lot more. Steph Curry and LeBron James are both born in Akron, Ohio, which has Gematria of 106. Star players of the two teams that met in the NBA Finals the last year, born at the same hospital, 39 months apart. Both born to fathers from the NBA. Steph Curry, born from Del Curry. LeBron James, born from Nate Thurmond, who played for the Warriors and the Cavs, and who died 27 days after LeBron scored 27 in Game 7. Yeah, if you go out there, you're not going to see anywhere where it says Nate Thurmond's the father of LeBron, but just look with your own eyes. Look at what they look like in the face. Look at the body. Look at the muscles. Look at the freak that Nate Thurmond was. Just like how LeBron's a freak. Very clear it's his father. He's also from Akron, Ohio. A lot of breeding in pro sports. That's why so many of these athletes, you don't know who their fathers are. A lot of them are former athletes, part of this Freemason club. So here's 1991. What stood out to me is this. That year, the Chicago Bulls won the NBA championship over the Portland Trail Blazers. And that was the year that I decided that professional sports were rigged. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I just remember just watching and going, Michael Jordan, he just gets to do whatever. He gets to foul. You can't breathe on him. That's a foul. He can travel. He can just do whatever he wants, Michael Jordan. I could see it as a child. In 1991, I was born in 83. Do the math. I wasn't even 8 years old yet. I was going to turn 8 just after the NBA Finals. Could already see how scripted and rigged it was, how centered around Michael Jordan it was. Back then, I didn't even know the quote, but around that same time, David Stern had said, the NBA is not about teams, it's about making stars. Think about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all these people. Anyway, Portland, what I think about now with this riddle is Portland, their star player is Damian Lillard, who's from Oakland, He normally gets the better of Steph Curry in head-to-head. I don't think the Blazers are going to make it to the NBA Finals this year over the Golden State Warriors. That'd be quite the upset. But I do think the Chicago Bulls could upset the Cavs. I thought this before the season began. What happened on opening day had me going, okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a repeat part 3 of Cavs and Warriors, which is still likely. But there is a major riddle here that Chicago could upset Cleveland, and it could be in this fire. Again, this is connected to the Chicago Fire, the Great Chicago Fire of October 8th, 1871. Cavs lost to Chicago the night this fire started in Oakland. And the Eastern Conference Finals that year were Chicago and Cleveland, Last year I showed how Len Bias died on the anniversary of Game 7 by the numbers. Len Bias was drafted by the Boston Celtics between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors being selected that year. Len Bias, his death was on what was Game 7 last year, June 19th. I noticed the day of this Oakland fire, there was also another fire in Boston. Remember, it was Boston that broke the win streak of the Warriors last year by the numbers in Oracle Arena? Oracle Arena equals 93. Oracle alone equals 54. The home win streak was broken at 54 by the Celtics. If you missed my video from the night that happened, I showed why the Cavs were going to beat the Warriors in the NBA Finals, as I had shown all season. That was just another example where it was clear. Once enough clues come, I will have a clear reading on who will be in the NBA Finals. If I had to bet today, I'd bet on both outcomes. Warriors Bulls and Warriors Cavs. I think that's what a wise man would do, because it could be either one. If you want to take a real dark horse, maybe even put some money on the Blazers. I don't think they'll be in the NBA Finals, but if there's a team to upset the Warriors in the West, could be the Blazers from the 33rd state. Here's the 1991 NBA playoffs. Chicago win over Miami. Think about that this year. Dwayne Wade going from Miami to Chicago. And I'm telling you, people, all of these leagues are scripted. These things over time are all planned out. Every year, your sports are all planned and scripted. Before the seasons even begin, they've already picked out who's going to be in the playoffs, who's going to be in the championships, and they have it planned out more than for just this season. They have it planned out over decades. They're birthing players and knowing what teams they're going to put them on in the future. So anyway, Chicago, Miami, we saw that fake killing of Dwayne Wade's cousin over the summer. I showed how that was a riddle for the 71st NBA season, which we're in, and how that could be favorable for Chicago. Chicago defeated New York, then Cleveland, then went to the NBA Finals. LeBron always has the big riddles going on with New York. I'm also thinking about how Derrick Rose went from the Bulls to New York this year to make room for Dwayne Wade to come to Chicago from Miami. I think the whole riddle right here for your NBA playoffs this season is from 1991. Western Conference, the Blazers were the 1 seed that year. Both 1 seeds made it. The likely 1 seeds this year will be Cleveland and Golden State, just like they were at the time of the fire. And the Cavs record at the time of the fire was 13-5. Great Chicago Fire 135. Fire 135 days from the playoffs. Cavs became 13-5 135 days before the start of the playoffs. I noticed that year Golden State, their first playoff matchup in 1991 was against Seattle. Seattle and Oakland both on the 122nd Meridian. In this past NBA Finals, it was the first time a team won Game 7 on the road since 1978, which was when the Washington Bullets defeated the Seattle Supersonics in Washington State by the numbers. Cleveland equals 78, so does NBA Finals. Cleveland, the first time to do it since 78, that was this past season. So anyway, now on to the other thing that happened in 1991, Golden Dawn becoming an official political party in Europe, the fascist party against Islam. And, that just says Donald Trump. That's who Donald Trump is, the fascist against Islam. That's the character he's playing in this puppet show we live out. If you missed my work on the Tennessee fire, they were coding all this stuff with Joel. And now I'm really starting to go, okay, is Billy Joel in trouble? Billy Joel is 67 years old right now. Blood sacrifice equals 67. So does the word arson. Billy Joel's 67, who sung We Didn't Start the Fire. Now they get this story out of the Oakland fire with the surviving DJ, the 33-year-old Joel Shanahan, who has a nice red beard. As we would have called him in elementary school, a fire crotch. Here's a Joel surviving the fire. Another fire story with Joel. We just saw the book of Joel, the lone Bible page discovered at Dollywood the same day Dolly Parton was singing Jolene on The Voice. Let's go through it all here. This guy, the fire crotch, Joel Shanahan, his band is called Golden Donna. Golden Donna, like Golden Dawn. And would you believe it, his name, Joel Shanahan, equals 45, just like Golden Dawn. And what did Donald Trump just win? He just won the election of the 45th president. Donald Trump to be the 45th president. Berlin Wall equals 45. He was announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Mr. Wall. The name Joel, as a reminder, equals 42, like Freemason, like Zionism, like NBA Finals with the S exception. NBA Finals equals 33 and 42. They say Joel's 33 years old. Remember, Cleveland's the only city in the league that equals 33. Last year, the Cavs were the 33rd team to be down 3-1, the first to come back, while LeBron's age 31. The name Stephen or Steven, how it's really spelled, sums to 33 and with the S exception, 42 as well. Stephen Curry, star players, just giving you some more number associations. So this name Joel Shanahan in simple English gematria sums to 108. So does Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall's 45 and 108 the big way. Joel Shanahan, the same thing, 45 and 108. Golden State Warriors equals 108. The Chicago Fire began in history on 10/8, October 8th. How perfect is that? The first time the Cavs and Warriors met in the NBA Finals, Golden State won Game 1 that year with 108 points. So Joel Shanahan, the survivor, very interesting name gematria, syncing up with all the things we talked about in the first video. Of course, 108 was a big number in Chicago this year. Chicago Cubs broke the 108-year World Series drought. The tallest building in Chicago is the Sears Tower, 108 stories tall. Major League equals 108. At the beginning of the baseball playoffs, I said why the Cubs would face the Indians and would win in Game 7 before the playoffs even began. It's gematria thing, it's worth knowing. I even said that Miguel Montero would likely knock in the winning run, and he did. Miguel Montero had the winning run. Said he would do it in Game 7. I predicted that 47 days. He wore the number 47. I predicted that 47 days before Game 7. All by understanding how things are scripted by the numbers. So here's Golden Dawn. First received widespread attention in 91. I guess it was 93, it registered as a political party, but 91 was the year they became big. And again, 93, that important number, propaganda 93, Saturn equals 93, the keeper of time to the occult. The magic square of Saturn sums to 45. Number we're talking about, Donald Trump, 45th president, Joel Shanahan, 45. Oracle Arena, 93. Starter scored 93 points the night of the fire news. Just look at the shot the media puts out. This glowing room like there's a fire behind him with this bright red beard. It's always such a mocking. Golden Donna from Madison, Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin, the college town. Gematria of 74. Special number to the Freemasons. A lot of things interesting coded into the name Golden Donna. Most notably, the word conspiracy. The word conspiracy, the small way equals 51. Think about Area 51. Federal, the big way, equals 51. Conspiracy, the big way, equals 123. This was the big news story on December 3rd, 12/3. Game prior to that, the Warriors went into overtime before the fire, 123 to 123. Probably just a coincidence. So they mention he's 33 years old, this guy. Where'd they write it here? Shanahan, 33, who goes by the stage name Golden Donna, had recently set out on a month-long West Coast tour organized in part by his record label, 100% Silk. The word silk has gematria of 33 if you use the S and K exception. That's where S is worth 10 and K 11. 100% 33. The 33-year-old man with the same name that sums to the same thing as Golden Dawn. You know, during the time of the NBA Finals, we documented how the historical pattern showed that based on the Warriors losing to the Cavs, historically that would mean that a Democrat would be elected in office. And I'm thinking about how Donald Trump overcame that. His name's Trump, like Trump card. You know, Donald Trump, he didn't fit with any of the historical patterns of determining the president, from college football outcomes to the World Series to the NBA. All of these historical patterns suggested Hillary would win, but then Trump card in the time of Netflix's House of Cards, won. You know, and I'm thinking about Donald Trump with his golden hair, Golden Dawn, his rhetoric. This is all a big mocking, you know? You see how they put it all together? Donald Trump became a TV celebrity in 1984. In 2017, it will have been 33 years. So here's Billy Joel. You know, we just talked about Joel Shanahan. Billy Joel's 67 right now. Arson, 67. Book of Joel found in Tennessee. We didn't start the fire. It's supposed to be about history. I noticed at the beginning of the song, there's kind of a riddle that points to the bombing of Hiroshima. Japan had just been firebombed. We didn't start the fire. Supposedly this is supposed to be history from 49 to the year the song came out, 89. You know what I'm thinking about now with 1989? 19 plus 89, the independent year numerology, that's 108. 108, this same number. Joel Shanahan, 108. Chicago Fire, 10-8. Cubs just broke the 108-year curse or drought. And remember, Game 1 of the World Series, what happened at Chicago O'Hare Airport? A plane caught on fire. Did a video. I said, see, that's another tribute to the Chicago Fire. I showed how. A lot of riddles in these stories. Same thing we're decoding now. We didn't start the fire in Gematria, sums to 93. It's about news for 40 years. The news is propaganda put on by the Zionist Jews who worship the number 93. The Zionist Jewish state of Israel established all around the number 93, the number for Saturn, the keeper of time. Billy Joel and Gematria sums to 39. 39 books in the Old Testament. The Zionist Jews own the media. They own the entertainment industry, from pro sports to the records. And look at how they own all these people. They do it with the same thing. The money they control and the media they control. They give these people wealth and they give them fame. And why do most people want wealth and fame? For all the nice things it brings, especially materialism and sex. It's not hard to understand why all of these celebrities sell out for the gang, playing in rigged sports, singing songs written by people that aren't them. Billy Joel, this song, it also came out on September 27th, which is the Jesuit order's birthday, the Masonic order within the Catholic Church. I'll remind that Steph Curry went to a Catholic school, so did LeBron James, so did the majority of the players in the NBA. The more I research, the more I document, the more convinced I am that the most influential Masonic order within the United States is the Jesuits. Jesuit equals 84, just like United States of America. Sunday equals 84. Last year's NBA Finals decided on a Sunday, the King James's real birthday. You know, think about Christianity, Sunday, King James. Song did also come out in 89. The word religion's 89. King James. We're getting all these religious references. It came out on a date with 144 numerology, the number for time. In Jewish Gematria, time equals 144. Saturn, the keeper of time. The song has 93 Gematria, the number for Saturn. Came out on a date with a life lesson number of 63. When you sum 1 through 63, it totals 2016. Came out on a date with 45 numerology. Here we are. These fires being staged that seem to be tributes to Trump and what's coming, symbolism. Again, when the Tennessee fire happened, I showed all the parallels to Donald Trump. The riddle in it. Donald Trump, 45th president. Holy Bible equals 45. The final book of the Bible's Revelation, which warns of trumpets for the warnings, the trumpets ticket. I mean, what's more of a warning for those who are awake than Donald Trump being the president of the United States? Also, this song, We Didn't Start the Fire, it being based on a 40-year news span, 49 to 89. When you write out 40 as a word, it sums to 84. United States equals 40. United States of America, 84. Jesuit, 84. Relationship with 40 and 84. I'll link these posts if you want to read more. I think Billy Joel, he'd better look out. You know, we might read about Billy Joel dying soon, just like I once said on this channel about Prince. In February, I said Prince better watch his ass. A lot lines up for him to die soon. Billy Joel has a lot of the same numbers Prince did. With Prince, I said Prince better watch out because of his June 7th birthday. A lot like 6'7". He ended up dying a span of 67 days from Vanity, his ex-girlfriend. Again, Billy Joel's 67 right now. Arson equals 67. His birth name's William Martin Joel, Gematria of 79, just like the word murder. He's born on May 9th, 5/9. The word kill in Jewish Gematria is 59. He's got murder in his name. He's got kill in his birth numerology, and he's 67, the blood sacrifice age. You know? I should have wrote arson here. Oftentimes on my blog, I work fast, so I forget to write the most important things. Funny how I do that. Just keep in mind, if you read my blog, sometimes there's things missing that should be there. So yeah, you can go through these lyrics. This is a complicated song. If you decode the lines, as some people already started to do, there's a lot of the same numbers we already talked about into, you know, each lyrical verse. So okay, we had Joel Shanahan, we got Billy Joel, We Didn't Start the Fire, and what really got me on the Joel thing was this page from the book of Joel being found at Dolly Parton's ranch the same day she was singing Jolene. And I've already made 2 videos on this, but there's even more to this Jolene thing. So if you've seen me talk about this before, stick around. Let me finish this. There's another thing you need to know. While Dolly was singing Jolene, a page of Joel found at her residence in Tennessee, which was just burned up with the wildfire. Joel equals 42, like The Voice equals 42. She just did an ad with Smokey Bear. She was on The Voice. 42, again, the number of the Freemasons, who have this compass and square with the big G, which represents 42. Word Freemasons also 42. The New Testament, the Christian part of the Bible, begins with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. New Testament equals 42. The first printed Bibles were 42-line Bibles. Dolly Parton herself is into New Ageism, which is related to Christianity, but different. New Ageism, 42. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. So here's what was reported. This was reported November 29th, a Tuesday, the anniversary date that Israel was recognized as a nation. And this book, this passage of Joel about the burning wilderness, which we're about to read, it's regarding the wilderness in Israel. Remember, it was said a wildfire was going on in Israel Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. This fire in Tennessee started the same time the fire in Israel began, and I'm going to show you the parallel between Tennessee and Israel in a moment. There is a parallel. The United States of America was created by these Zionist Jew banker tyrants once upon a time, the same ones who've now created their own nation, Israel. All this time, it's been riddles by the numbers. So anyway, this is the surviving page of the book of Joel. Notice the most readable verse is Joel 1:19. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flames have burned all the trees of the field. Supposedly the only page to survive this King James Bible. Here's where chapter 2 starts. So this is 1:19 right here. 2:1 begins, blow ye trumpet and sound an alarm. And what's burned off here is the word Zion, Zionism, the false Jews, Israel. Donald Trump, Trumpent's ticket. Look at this. This is from the King James Bible. King James Bible equals 119. The only verse readable is Joel 1:19 about the wildfire. All Seeing Eye 119, Star of David 119, Master Plan 119. Again, CNN's first story about the Oakland fire, a minute 19 long. Dolly Parton, who sung this song, was born January 19th, and the day she recorded Jolene in history was a date with 119 numerology, which we'll get to. Now, this page was found at her ranch, you know. In a way, this is a big tribute to Dolly Parton, and perhaps she needs to watch her ass in the same way Billy Joel does. We'll see. She'll be 71 January 19th. That's the number of the Catholics incorporated with the Jesuit order. Dolly Parton, her date of birth, date was 66 numerology, Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible. The recording of Jolene, that was on the date May 22nd, 1973. That date in numerology, 119. And now, book of Joel, while she's singing Jolene, you know, Joel 119. For any of you who thought that this was a miracle by God, which so many of you have commented to, again, you really need to check your thinking. The people who rule over you, they think you're stupid. They think you're a believer. They think you're gullible. They think you'll eat any shit that you're shoveled from them. And they shovel you shit every day. And a lot of you, this shit that's shoveled into your mouth, you say, that's a miracle from God. No, what that is some shit that was shoveled into your mouth by a gang that thinks you're fucking retarded. And imagine if you shoveled shit to dumb people and they ate it up and loved it. Wouldn't you feel almost just in what you were doing? This is why the gang does what they do every day. Mocking your existence, laughing at you to the bank. May 22nd is also the 142nd day of the year. When you write out 42, it sums to 142. It's the day that leaves 223 days left in the year. Masonic, the synagogue of Satan. This was released as a part of a, what do they call it? Little teaser album, singles. They put it out on November 3rd as well, 11/3 or 3/11. 311 represents the beast. 113 represents mainstream, dishonest. This morning I found another 113 too. I think it was perverted. I think perverted's 113. Doesn't that make so much sense? In terms of all the trash we're fed by this gang. TV gets more perverted by the day. The date of this single, Jolene, November 3rd, 1973. Date with 106 numerology. Book of Joel equals 106. Tennessee 106. Prophecy 106. Destroy 106. Revelation, the book of prophecy and destruction. 106 quoted again and again. This is the parallel to Tennessee we were just talking about through the number 106. Again, Oracle Arena in Oakland, 106 feet tall. Huge number in the NBA Finals. They had LeBron James rolling around on the ground at the end of the game with 10.6 on the clock. And if you looked at the video I'd made before the game, it was just filling up with hundreds of comments by the minute about, oh my God, I can't believe LeBron James is rolling around on the ground with 10.6 in light of all that you showed us about 106 in this NBA season. Last year, the NBA playoffs began on the 106th day of the year. This gang always works by the same numbers. That other single came out April 6th, the 96th day of the year, Freemason 96. The Divisors of 42 add to 96. In other words, both dates have connections to 42. 42, number of the Freemasons. Freemason, the small way, 42. The big way, 96. You take all the numbers that divide into 42, they sum to 96. So there's a lot more here. The date the album came out. She even had an album come out this year, Pure and Simple, which began 96 days. Or her album that came out this year was 96 days before The Fire began. The Fire began November 23rd, the day that leaves 38 days left in the year. November 23rd leaves 38 days left in the year. Fire 38, where we began. Date the wildfire started in Tennessee. Number coded all over the Oakland fire. Now both being connected by Joel. Book of Joel talks about fire in the wilderness. The perfect verse captured at Dolly Parton's ranch. This album also, Dolly Parton's Pure and Simple, it matches her name Gematria. The word religion equals 53. A lot of religion here. The album Jolene, when she released it, was 1974, which was 42 years before 2016. 42 years ago, Masonic equals 74, Occult 74. Came out on February 27th, 227. When you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi. Having to do with cycles and circles. Freemasons over the years doing everything in the same cycles by the same numbers. You have to think about how big this gang is and how they've grown over time. And now what they do with all the things they control, from sports to music records, they give tributes to all of their contrived history again and again. And with regard to this 106 number, Israel was established November 29th, 1947. 11 plus 29 is 40, plus 19 more is 59, plus 47 is 106. The Zionist nation of Israel recognized as a nation on that date. That's the same date was the anniversary that this Book of Joel page was found at Dolly's Ranch, November 29th, which is typically the 333rd day of the year. It was a 33-member vote by the United Nations that made Israel a nation. The United Nations is a Masonic Jewish Zionist front. Their symbols broken into 33 parts. Have you seen Team America World Police? Do you remember who runs the world in that? They call it FAG, Film Actors Guild. It's not too far from the truth. The same people who run Hollywood are the same people who run the rest. Hollywood, a major programming tool, just like music in the recording industry. So I'll let you read this post. There's a lot more here to appreciate if you want to go through this slowly. Some notes to make. The town that burned up in Tennessee, Gatlinburg, has Gematria of 666, just like the word prophecy in Jewish Gematria, tying in with the overall Tennessee-Oakland theme. And again, these numbers expand way beyond just the fires here. It's just the latest example. Again, the Oakland fire happened December 2nd, 12/2 on the 122nd meridian. I noticed that same day there was a 10-alarm fire in Cambridge. Cambridge equals 44, like cook, like kill. 44, number of destruction. Big number for the Warriors in their last season. 10-alarm fire in Gematria sums to 122, just like Golden State. What are the odds of this news at the same time as the Golden State Oakland news, It's all rituals. This fire, no doubt, part of the same thing, and I haven't done enough homework on it. I'm sure there's more there. The police spokesperson they put out for the fire in Oakland, they said his name was Paul Graves. Look at his name. Paul Graves, telling you the facts, more like the lies. At one point in the account, of course, they had to say 33 dead. I mean, what else would they do? They love their 33, this gang of Freemasons that hoaxes by the numbers on the daily. And now the latest is this, the man who supposedly owned the warehouse. They called it the Ghost Ship, which reminds me something of the Oakland Raiders and their fans and the way they dress up. But anyhow, Ghost Ship in Gematria sums to 121 and 49, just like Warriors, just like Revelation. Again, Philadelphia, named from the book of Revelation. The word ghost in Gematria sums to all the numbers you see, including 33. 33 dead momentarily at the Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship also has Gematria of 67. If you do the S exceptions, arson equals 67. Billy Joel is 67 right now. They spell his name in 2 different ways in this article, and I don't know if it's a typo. They didn't account for why they spelled his name completely different, but I want to show you the 2 spellings they put out. Derek, Ion, Almina, and Pythagorean Gematria sums to 71. We just talked about 71 with the Catholics. Dolly Parton coming up on her 71st birthday. The Golden State Warriors have been in Oakland since 71. 71 is the reflection of 17. NBA equals 17. It's in its 71st season this year, the NBA. Began on a date with 71 numerology. You might recall the day the NBA season began was Game 1 of the World Series, which was played in Cleveland, the first time the Cubs had been in the World Series in 71 years. How perfect. You know? This number 134, I've said it so many times, it's a number that's connected to death and destruction. I still haven't pinpointed what the actual meaning of it is, but I see it all the time around catastrophe. If you go through the Dolly Parton post, I documented that 134 is coded into her Jolene album. There's something about this number. You know, Matt Damon just came out with that movie recently where he's supposedly growing potatoes on Mars. If you pay attention, it's the 134th day where his facility blows up. You know? And that's something I've been paying attention to this whole 3 years I've been doing this, but I still have not pinpointed what 134 is. I just know that it shows up around these types of stories again and again. The name Almina, his last name, has Gematria 46. They say he's 46 years old. The word chaos equals 46. The Freemasons believe in order out of chaos. I think this one's more about ritual. You know, subliminal programming. Golden Dawn, Golden Donna, Golden Top President. Major fascist. Fascism's just the merger of corporation and government. I mean, you hear in Donald Trump's words, that's what he's all about. Just like all these presidents, very much a fascist nation we live in. The name Derek, the way he spells it, typically people spell Derek with 2 R's. His name has Gematria 41, Golden State 41. See a lot of relevant coding in his name in regards to the fire. They also spell his name this way. Where is it at here? Let me see. See how I have it written here? They also have his name spelled that way. Where was it at in the article? I was like, why in the world is his name spelled like that here? Here we go, down here. Whom people had identified Saturday as Derek Alamini at addresses affiliated with him in Oakland have been unsuccessful. So, interesting that they start off by saying his name is this, you know. Derek Ion Almina, and then you just read a little bit further down and it's spelled completely different. I mean, it's completely different. It's Aolmini. Aolmini, up here it's Almina, you know? How did the spelling get so different? So anyway, Derek Aolmini has Gematria 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. Also 121, we just talked about this, Warriors, Revelation, Ghost Ship. Is it a purposeful typo to code Gematria? Why? Is it a made-up name and they made a mistake? They didn't know which fake spelling to go with? That's what I lean towards. They talk about the facility being like a temple. The Freemasons, they call their buildings temples. Temple has that Gematria 71. Again, Warriors in Oakland since 71. They give us this account from this 44-year-old woman right here, Nikki Kelber. 44, again, that number of destruction. I'm going to be back in 1 second. Or let's just search for it together. Let's see. Witness, Oakland fire. Have you guys seen this? The guy with the sunglasses who came out and told his account of surviving the fire? Right here. Let's watch this clip. This will tell you, I mean, this tells you even more than the Gematria, just how horribly fake this interview is right here. Check this out.
At least 9 people are dead and another 25 are unaccounted for after a massive fire broke out at a warehouse party in Oakland, California.
Hold on, that's not the interview I want. I see that clip of him is short. I want the full interview of that guy. His name was something Mule. Bob Mule or something. Ben Mule. Okay, here's the clip I want to show you. Watch this witness from the fire. He starts laughing on TV. It's just so obvious that this is staged. Crisis actors. Our news, it's no different than your sitcoms or movies. It is an industry. It is giving you scripted narratives to steer you. And oftentimes it's just to waste your time, put subliminals in your head, give you tributes to the rigged things to come, from elections to sports outcomes. Same thing every day when you turn on the TV. It's why when I was a child, I noticed when the TV was on, I thought it was something made for idiots. As a child, whenever I turned on the TV, I thought it was treating me as if I was a stupid person. And I've never felt any different. I don't know how anybody gives anybody or any credit to the television. Watch this. So ridiculous. And if you pay attention, this is what the TV is every day.
It's going to take several days to figure out exactly how many people lost their lives in this fire. Some people were able to make it out there. Their stories are absolutely harrowing. And tonight we are hearing some of their stories of survival. Our Betty Yu has been able to speak to one man who was forced to leave an injured friend behind.
And as we go to this guy, just notice he's wearing sunglasses. Who wears sunglasses at night? You know, somebody that doesn't want their face to be out there.
We spoke to one artist who smelled the smoke and then barely made it out of that fire. He says he yelled and tried to get other people out of the building safely. He even ran back to get his computer and other equipment, and that's when he stopped to help a fellow artist.
And another member of the collective had broken his ankle and was calling out for help. He was pretty much like my neighbor in the space next to me.
So, I mean, just as we go along, you're going to see how bad this is. But right away, did you just catch the name Bob Mule? Bob Mule, being used as a tool. Here we go.
I was pulling him out. He's a larger gentleman, and there was a lot of stuff in the way. The flames were too much. Too much smoke, and I had to let him. I
believe he's still in there right now. He never made it out.
I haven't seen him, and there's been flames shooting out of the building for the past 30 minutes. So I hope he's okay. I got some pretty gnarly burns on my arm, my hand, my shoulder.
Was that the result of trying to save the other person? Trying to save him?
Yeah, I mean, this is also. I'm also glad I had this vest on.
Listen to what he's had to say. He's glad he had this vest on because it saved him from getting burned. I mean, isn't it obvious that he just put on a fake prop? Laughing, smiling, the fake sadness in his voice that he tried to do for a second. It's just so pathetic.
Or my whole back would be blistered right now. I'm trying to pull him out.
And we don't know if that man that he was trying to help has been.
And also just the names that they give us for all these news anchors, like Betty Yu. I mean, everyone on TV is an actor and a liar and a deceiver. And if you're in 2016 and you turn on the TV and you watch the news and you think any of it's real, I mean, you really need to pull your head out of your ass. The TV does not report what's real. It just reports constant, nonstop bullshit, agenda-driven, fill-up-your-head-driven. There's nothing meaningful. There's nothing helpful. Just constant noise, static. And if you learn how to decode it, rituals, tributes. From fake fires to rigged sports games. It's all by the numbers. Until next time.